We talked about this a little bit yesterday with the NFL adding 24 full-time officials, and what does that mean, and how long before everybody is a full-time official? And is this a precursor to gambling, legalized gambling, where the league says to its bettors, we have full-time officials? I don't know how a full-time official is better than the part-time officials. What do you do in the off-season? Is it more just the perception than reality of this? And that's why we wanted to talk to Dean Blandino. Dean used to be the former NFL Senior VP of Officiating, now working for Fox Sports NFL Rules Analyst. Dean, thanks for joining us. What do you make of this 24 full-time officials? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, to me, it's the start of what's already been a long process. This is 5 years in the making, going back to the negotiations in 2012 during the lockout, and the league has been pushing for full-time officials and been working with the union to try to make it happen. I think this year it's going to be a year of figuring out where to best utilize these full-time officials, and I know that the NFL needs more access to their officials. They're going to get it, but I'm not sure how much it's going to move the needle in terms of accuracy on the field, at least initially. I think you're going to see some benefit in communication and consistency, and that's the goal. Because now with these 24 full-time officials, or up to 24, it'll be easier to disseminate that information amongst the entire staff and get everybody on the same page.
What's the downside to this of having just 24 full-time officials and the other, notable officials like, Ed Hockley are part-time officials?
Yeah, that's a good question, and something that I was part of those discussions. And so you have a subset of your entire staff that's full-time, and our team's going to say, well, we want the full-time officials. We don't want the part-time officials. And we had our full-time officials 3 games, and our division opponent had them 6. So I think there is going to be some of that we're going to have to sift through and see how it goes. And look, full-time officials, part-time officials, they're going to make mistakes. It happens. The game is fast, and nobody's perfect. And so I don't think anybody should expect that this is going to, create perfection in officiating. But I think from a communication standpoint, it can help.
This is what I see happening initially, Dean, and that is if a full-time official makes a glaring mistake, what does that say about the full-time officials? Or if it's a part-time official and he makes a glaring mistake, well, would he have made the mistake if he's a full-time official? It just feels like there's a PR nightmare that is sort of hanging in the balance here. Can you sense that as well?
Yeah, I can sense that. And look, we can't get around the fact that part of this is about PR. Part of this is you've got full-time coaches, full-time players, everyone else is full-time, and your officials who affect games and the decisions that they make are part-time. So there's no question that there's a PR element to it. I don't think it's just PR. I think there's more to it, and I think there is some true benefit. But we are going to see some things like that where a full-time official makes a mistake, and now we're dealing with that fallout. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
I think that we've just made the job too tough for them. Of just calling the game is one thing. Now, did you complete the act? Now you have to decide how long somebody celebrated. What's a football move here? It didn't used to be this way, Dean. Should we be asking officials to monitor how long somebody celebrates and whether or not you're going to throw a flag on that?
Yeah, I agree with that. We've always tried to take the approach of simplifying the rules for the officials because it has become so complicated. And if you go back and watch, and I try to go back and look at old games and look at it from an officiating perspective, and there was a call and it was made and we moved on and we didn't break it down and we didn't analyze it 8 different ways, and the world continued to spin on its axis. But it seems like this is become, and maybe not just in football officiating, but we're in this world of social media and technology, and everything is just completely overanalyzed. And it is a extremely hard job to do, and the expectation is perfection, and that's not possible.
But I almost think instant replay works against the NFL, whereas in other sports it may not hurt it as much, but we get to see everything. We get the benefit of it, and social media, it's the most popular sport. And it feels like if you took away replay, I wonder how we would view officials.
Yeah, it's a good point, and we've had those discussions. Replay has really, it's been a benefit, and then we're never going back, right? Because I remember a world without replay, and that's not a great world in terms of officiating, but it has really shined a spotlight on officiating more so than ever before, and it just creates this world of scrutiny that they're under currently.
Your job now at Fox, NFL rules analyst, is this similar to Mike Pereira's job?
Yes, this will be similar. I'll be working closely with Mike. We'll be doing both college and NFL games, and being in the studio and supporting the studio staff and the talent at the games, and then being out at some games and helping in that way. So it'll be working closely with Mike.
How concerned are you about the guys you used to oversee being upset at you that now you're second-guessing them or critiquing them?
Sure, that's definitely, I've talked to Mike a lot about that because he went through it, and I think there's a way to critique and there's a way to give your opinion, but do it in a respectful way. And certainly, I'm going to have an opinion, and I'm going to be commenting on it. But from my background, I know that I'm going to do it in a respectful way, and I think the guys will, the officials will respect that.
Nervous?
I'm excited. It's a new challenge, and I'm excited to be in this world, and just up for the challenge.
Brief, to the point, be succinct, and just so we can understand it, less is better, less is more when you first start out, because everybody who gets in this business keeps talking. And get to the point.
That's what everybody keeps telling me.
Yeah.
And coming from you, that's good advice.
Get to the point, make sure people understand it, and don't speak in the language of an official. Speak so the fans understand it, they can consume it, and then get the hell out of the way. That's would be my advice. And any new rules that we need to be aware of on the field this year? Anything that's really good?
Yeah, I think so. The new rules, there wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot of major changes, but I think the ones that we'll see come into play is, they eliminated the jumping over the line on field goal and extra point attempts. So you can't do that even if you don't make contact. We're going to see changes in replay where the referee is going to use a tablet on the sideline versus going under the hood, and some changes in terms of game pace. I think that's another big thing that the NFL is really working on in terms of eliminating some of the in-game downtime. So I think you're going to see some more efficiencies there.
Good luck with it, Dean. And, don't be afraid to ask for advice, because everybody has asked for it in this business.
Appreciate it, Dan.
And of course, we'll call you when you screw up, okay? Thank you, Dean.
Wouldn't expect anything less. All right.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.